Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 123 days away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, not only is this film very important to Disney and Lucasfilm, but it's also very much important to the Star Wars community around the entire world, as this movie really does determine the future of the Star Wars franchise. We do have 3 live-action TV series coming after this, as well as 2 new Star Wars trilogies. And so the future of the Star Wars franchise, though it is expansive, it really does all rely on Episode 9's success and how it's really going to resonate with fans around the world. Now, on top of all of this, one thing that a lot of fans are looking forward to is, of course, Luke Skywalker and how he's going to be utilized in Episode 9. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the set leaks, this is where things begin to get very intriguing for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really interesting about all of this is that it's described that one of the scenes that were filmed during the month of January of this year involved the sequence based in the second act of the film, where it's explained that Mark Hamill was on set in front of a massive green screen, where Mark Hamill was using a force pull gesture toward the green screen where many wind machines were used against Hamill, causing his hair to blow back. You know, it's explained that the floor on set was covered in sand, and is best described as a flashback on Jakku, where the visuals that are set to replace the green screen are said to be the debris of a falling Star Destroyer that was taken down by Luke Skywalker. It said that this sets up how Luke became such a known legend on the world of Jakku, and how powerful of a person he really was during the Battle of Jakku just before the Empire's defeat. It's described that Mark Hamill was dressed in black robes, just like from The Last Jedi on Crate, and was even de-aged, where in the sequence he was said to be wearing a hood over his head, where the hood eventually blows back, revealing Luke's face, a younger version of Luke Skywalker. The sequence is said to be an original idea from Episode 7 that was never completed and never made the final cut of the film, and was even considered for The Last Jedi script. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to really give us a different side of Skywalker that we have never seen before on the big screen, and a lot of this will be done through the use of flashbacks, and this by far is something that has been in the works since Episode 7 that never was completed and was even considered for, of course, Episode 8, and now JJ is picking up his original ideas and throwing them into Episode 9. So not only that, the Death Star 2 wreckage in the middle of the ocean was also an original idea for Episode 7 that never made the final cut, and what do you know, here we have it in Episode 9. So a lot of original ideas from The Force Awakens are making their way into Episode 9, which I honestly think is great. I think that's a great thing. I think it's perfect because there were so many different, concepts for, of course, The Force Awakens that were just pure gold, in my opinion. Like, just worked for the Star Wars franchise that really could have done something very much amazing for the franchise and the fans. So on top of all of this, the set that was actually constructed for this scene is described to take place on the world of Jakku, since the floor of the set was covered in sand, and a large, massive green screen was used in front of Hamill, where Hamill was said to be wearing a black robe, nearly the same exact one that he wore on Crate. Now, that robe, by the way, is more or less of what Luke also wore during his younger years, and this is said to be a moment in which they have de-aged Mark Hamill. Makes a lot of sense. In case you guys did not know, the Empire's official defeat was exactly 1 year after the events of the Battle of Endor on the world of Jakku during the Battle of Jakku. It all took place 1 year after Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. And what I love so much about that is that it's going to give us a little glimpse into, of course, that side of Star Wars. And honestly, I will say that if they ever want to make a rich live-action TV series, they really should explore the legends of Luke Skywalker and what he went through until he becomes a Jedi Master or something around those lines, just de-aging Mark Hamill. I think it would be brilliant. I think it would be amazing. So with all of this being said, I will say that the one thing that really stands out to me a lot that sounds very dramatic is how it said that Mark Hamill was wearing a hood over his head while he was doing this, and a lot of wind machines were used to emulate, of course, the crashing Star Destroyer and the shockwave that it actually creates on that world, where it blows the hood back off of course, Mark Hamill's head, Luke Skywalker's head, if you will, revealing a de-aged version of Skywalker. Now, this is all said to take place during a narration of Luke's Force Ghost when he's talking to Rey, telling her about his past and different elements about his life. And you could really see what they're trying to do with this film. They're really trying to pick up the scraps from what it seems, and they're trying to piece things together to show us a real epic side of Luke that we would have never expected to see on the big screen and that fans have been wanting to see for a very long time. Now, when we think about Episode 9, this film's going to have a lot of Jedi, Sith, and Force lore, but it's also going to focus on the secrets of Skywalker. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.